So the migration to premium is completed. The script execution took around 10 additional minutes. So the allocation took 10 minutes. The allocation to premium took another 10 minutes. And we will go now to the portal and let's refresh the screen. Yes. So we see now the firewall has been migrated to premium. And let's look at the public IP addresses. So we say that the name of the public IP has been changed, but the IP address remains the same. And we lost our additional second IP address. So let's attach our second IP address. So I will associate the second one. And once you have all your public IP addresses back, so this is the step which you have to do it either through PowerShell script or something else what you use, or through the portal, that you rebind all your additional public IP addresses, because these are completely uh, gets disassociated as with the process of migration. And after this, once this is done, so we are in this step. So we have to bind additional public IPs to the firewall. Then what we will see is at this moment the firewall is still associated with still updating. The firewall should be still associated with the standard policy and not the premium policy. And we have to go and replace the standard policy with the premium policy. It should take around 1 or 2 minutes maximum. 2 minutes is already over. Okay, so that's our additional IP is back on the firewall now. And if we go ahead and look at our policy, you look at it, it is still the old policy standard. And what I've seen is uh, the communication still should work with the old policy and with this firewall. So there, at this point in time, there should be no outage. Everything should be back to normal in terms of traffic flow. And what we will do now is we will go ahead and now bind the new policy. So this is the standard policy. We have to migrate the policy, and that's you can do it in the overview section. You have the policy section here in overview, and you go ahead and change the policy to the premium policy. So let me change the policy. And what I have observed is, as you change the policy from the standard policy or replace policy from the standard to the premium policy, there is no loss of connectivity. And once this policy binding is completed, we can go ahead and configure the firewall to block those critical CVEs. And to win over the time, I would go ahead and show you the WAF section, and then we can come back to the firewall policies. So on the WAF side, it's pretty straightforward. If you already have a web application firewall configured, so in this case I have a WAF policy. I'll show you the specific signature set, which you need to ensure that it is active. In my case, the WAF policy is in the prevention mode. It is important that the WAF policy should be in the prevention mode to block those malicious signatures, to block those malicious attacks. Uh, and in this case, the signature ID is the default. This is DRS, the default rule set. That's what you have here in the managed rules. The managed rules are called as the default rule set. You can go to the default rule set, expand the default rule set, and then you can go ahead and find out this signature ID. And this is the signature ID, remote command execution, Java serialization. Ensure that this is enabled. Yeah? And if this is enabled, your WAF can prevent or block those malicious attacks related to the log4 shell. Yeah. So that was quite straightforward in terms of the WAF configuration. You don't need to do any specific custom signatures. Microsoft has already taken care of this, and it's under this signature ID. Here we are back now, and our policy is already associated now on the firewall. So we are back to the firewall properties, the overview page, and we see our policy has already been binded to the premium policy. At this stage, the firewall is completely migrated to the premium SKU, as well as the policies are migrated and also associated with the firewall. Let's go to the policy. So we are in the premium policy, and we go into the IDPS section here. And this IDPS section is only available in the premium policy. And by default, the IDPS mode is disabled. If you want to stop those attacks, you need to configure globally either in the alert mode or in the alert and deny mode. Alert and deny. With the alert mode, basic configurations all these threats are detected and alerted, but we can go and specifically deny in this mode. Let's set it to, if you're in the disable mode and you go to the signature rules, you cannot edit any of those rules. It's all disabled here. So we need to take it out from the disable mode, and we can either go into alert and deny, alert, or alert and deny. And I would go specifically to alert in this case, save the configuration, and then we can enable specific signatures to alert and deny. So let's go. It's still not saved. It's still saving. And what we need is, we need the CVE ID. So we can take the CVE ID and search in the IDPS signature set. It's still updating. That's quite long. It's already 2 minutes over. Okay, that's good. Let's go to the firewall rules. And now you see, we can see all those signatures. So I'll just increase my item list per page. And then I will search for the CVE